Yeah, no, not any prettier. Hey, internet, how's it going? I don't know. I don't know if anyone's gonna show up tonight. Russ said he was gonna be here, but I haven't heard from him yet. So heard
Who's
from him
that,
like an
Russ?
hour ago. Russ Yoakum, which I don't know if you recall, but Russ did the happened to have this here, first printing of Zing 1.
That's
And-
what I thought that was. Yeah.
Yeah. And Russ did the pencil work for his first Al Jin story.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, I've honestly never, I don't think I've ever talked to him. So
You may not have. I know him back from the old Fanzing days. That's where where we're pals from. Way on back in the day.
back in the day.
Back in the days.
Mm.
Back in the day.
Mm.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's the ticket. So yeah, we worked we tried to get a couple pitches together to send to DC, and never get the touch. Oh man, he just says the link isn't working for him.
Is he on a tablet?
All right, I'm gonna ask him.
Yeah.
Of course. Chris was using his tablet last week just fine. We're not trying to do the restream.
Oh, that's right. We're not. Okay.
He is on a tablet.
Hmm.
Let me see here. What browser?
Whew, I'm still waking up. I was taking a power nap before the whole.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
That's always the most exciting right there. That's how you know you get stuff, man.
Yeah.
You get on, you're ready, fresh for the internet, and you're just like,
yeah,
no nap.
Nap.
Ah, Safari.
Try.
I'm gonna ask
you
if
not have Chrome installed.
I'm gonna ask.
That's what I run off of when I'm on.
Yep. Sometimes it works in Firefox too, depending on your device. I've been able to get it to work in Firefox on a phone.
I need to. Where is our link? I need to share it to Facebook.
It's on Facebook right now.
Is it?
Yeah, on the Ideal page. I'm going to share it from mine and tag you and me because the new format, it doesn't like to tag people very effectively.
Gotcha.
Hold on a second. I had to go kill a moth.
Ah. Damn moths.
Yeesh.
Okay. Wake up time.
Okay,
so
yeah, I just was sending that out there. Oh, hey, it looks like Russ is there. Hey, Russ.
Hey,
Russ.
how you doing?
I don't even know what happened, but glad to have you.
Yeah, I instead of clicking the link, I copied and pasted it, and here we go.
Cool.
Oh, Russ, I don't think you've ever met Barry. Barry, this is Russ.
Hey,
How's
Barry.
it going?
So Barry, I don't know. You've probably seen Barry around the old Facebooks, maybe. I don't know.
Could be.
But yeah. So Barry's one of us. He's local. Well, he's not from Scottsbluff. I mean,
Okay.
really, who's from Scottsbluff? It's like the magnet for wayward travelers here. I'm not from Scottsbluff. I just ended up here. But yeah, so Barry's but he's local. He's working. He's one of the partners at the company. And Russ, of course, I know Russ from way back in the day, back in the old fanzine days. Actually,
Yeah.
I had Hutch on my Thursday show last week.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So he's become a semi-regular.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, he had to get a better internet connection, he told me. So he's like, if I'm going to come on your show, I need better internet. Like, yeah, you do you, man.
Right.
Very cool. So Russ, are you working on right now on anything, or just collaborating with people on different random things?
Yeah, I've been trying to work on some inking for a story that Reese sent me. It's been slow going with just a lot of hectic chaos in the life right now. One of those life happens moments, but
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it when I can get to it.
Right on.
He's working on the Gilboy.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you guys were working something. So yes,
Yeah.
very cool.
So although I haven't seen any of the progress, so if you want to share it,
I've got my light box packed away, but I'll have to be prepared to dig it out next time.
nah, that's fine. That's no big deal.
Yeah, let them put you on the spot. Don't do it.
Yeah. I tell you what. So here's the thing: is every Tuesday, Barry and I get together, talk projects, maybe do a little bit of working on stuff, chat up people.
Very good.
We have another couple of artists who are working with different projects that have come on. Some of them are working with us. Some of them are just doing their own thing. And so yeah, but yeah. So you're always welcome to come on a Tuesday, and
Very good.
it's
Yeah.
a good excuse to work while you're working on other stuff or whatever. But,
Right. No. Yeah. I guess other than the inking, I think I shared with Reese, quite a while back when he first got back in touch with me. I'm also doing some custom like Mego scale action figures at the 1/9 scale.
Oh wow, that's cool.
But yeah, those are pretty cool. I've taken a few commissions for those, but they're time consuming, so I don't do as many of them as I might like. Yeah.
Are those 3D printed then?
What I do is often I print the clothing on inkjet printable cotton after I design it in MS Paint.
Oh wow.
And the figures themselves, I use like commercially available parts and kind of kibosh them together. So
Yeah. Cool. That's really cool. That's I watch Toy Galaxy. I don't know if you ever checked that out on YouTube.
I haven't.
Oh, it's great. And they do a lot they have a love affair. They're our age, so they have a love affair with the 80s toys.
Oh yeah.
Yes. And so he does a lot of even behind the scenes or the tail of the other night he did the other week, actually a month ago now, he did what was the old, it slipped my mind. It was the old almost a Tron ripoff they had of the TV. Remember that? You know what I'm talking? What's it called? Something
Reboot?
What's that? No, it was back in the 80s.
Tron and ripoff in the 80s.
It was let me look it up real quick here.
Yeah, I can't think of it. I can't.
Then he had the actor. He had the actor on who was mostly Broadway. He did him on last week because you can get a lot of people these days because no one's doing anything.
Right.
So So yeah, so he can. A lot of people have gotten mid to, people who were in the business or whatever like that. But let's see, Toy Galaxy. There we go. Not Visionaries. Automan.
Okay.
You guys remember that at all?
No.
Oh man.
Vaguely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would have been young. We would have been like 6 or I'm not sure how old you are, Russ, but Reese would have been maybe. I'm 41, so I was like maybe 6 or 7. I think.
Right. I'll be 49 next month.
Okay, so you were close to teen, but they had Automan. They did the history of stuff. They did the history of Street Hawk. Was that one that you remember at all?
I do remember Street Hawk. Yeah.
So and they cover a bunch, just the nerdy stuff like that, and
very cool.
Black Star. I don't know if you guys remember. If you remember Black Star at all, it was a cartoon a lot like Brave Star, but it's in the 80s. But
I do not remember Black Star.
Yeah, they go deep. They go deep.
Yeah. Well, those are the ones that are fun, man.
Yeah. Turbo Teen. You remember that stuff at all?
No.
I've heard of Turbo Team, but I can't remember it.
Yeah, like they're it's very a lot like that's a gems. They covered all. They cover all of them, right? Like Mask. I'm sure.
I remember.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes.
They had a DC comic for a while too. Actually.
Yeah.
Yes, they did. They did. I don't have any of them, but I do know it existed.
Yeah.
Right.
I was into Mask like just before I got into comics. So
wow.
Yeah, not like just before, like the year before.
Okay.
Year or two before, but
but
like it had kind of like started to die down before I really got into comics. So I didn't know it was there.
Yeah, it was. Mask was around that Transformers age right there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of those, and Funko has done like several lines of reaction, and of course Figures Toy Company, had kind of that fight with Mego where a lot of their original sculpts became public. Yeah. So but it seems like there's a huge interest in all of that. They're reissuing 6-inch of the kind of the classic 80s GI Joes, and the He-Man reissues are out now. So it's very cool, man.
Yeah, and Chuck Wagner was the actor's name, and that's who they had on last week. And he was a real cool guy. If you get on there and watch that, he's a cool dude. And he's older now, but he's all Broadway, and has been since probably the 90s. But they do a lot of like the what happened to it type of thing.
Yeah. That's very cool. I have to check it out.
Yeah, it's great. They do a lot, where the toys came from, and it's like, man, there was like even like reissued toys like of the British line of GI Joes. I'm not sure if you knew that. Yeah, so that was cool to me.
Yeah. No, that would be very interesting. I've heard also of the Toys That Made Us. I think it's called on Netflix. I haven't checked it out yet, but it sounds similar. So
that sounds cool. Yeah. I'll have to check that out then, because I'm a nerd like this, and
yes,
they get into it, so it's fun for sure. So I recommend it for anybody that's a fan of toys, at least.
It's very cool. And I guess I kind of got, the old Mego lines are kind of what got me, because I watched Star Trek and Batman reruns, on TV, and the Mego lines were coming out when I was a kid, and I think being interested in them is kind of what segued me into comics, like Reese was kind of talking about with Mask. So it was. Those both hold a near and dear place in my heart. So, but I mean, I know some people call them dolls because they have removable clothing, but hey, whatever.
Really? That's funny.
I have removable clothing, and I
don't know. You're pretty dollish there, Reese.
It ain't that kind of show.
Have you? So you're probably familiar with like the Hot Toys, also. Then.
Yeah, yeah. Those are some of the high end ones, like
Yeah, the
Sideshow.
ultra high end. Yeah, like $300. I mean, like they go for some go to 1,000, even off the market.
Right. No.
Yeah, and yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
Sideshow. I've got a handful of Sideshow,
yes,
like Civil War, but those are about as high end as I can
yeah.
afford.
I looked at those too. Those are amazing. There's some that are also made by Square Enix. They're like There's a Batman. There's like a Batman series where they redid Batman, like kind of like almost like Final Fantasy style.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty. If you're into that stuff, and so they're very Japanese, but they're pretty sweet too. But those are 60, 80 plus. So.
Oh yeah.
But the point I was making with the Hot Toys is all 90% of those are all clothing, and but they're awesome, for sure.
Yeah, and to me that that added some appeal, and just the Migos back in the day had better articulation than some of the like the little Star Wars Kenners figures.
Yep.
That just moved at the shoulders and hips, and that was it. But so to me, they really helped usher in a little bit more imagination, because you could do more things with them. So.
Yep. Yeah. That's what's so great. Like that's why I love GI Joes when I found them, because the Star Wars ones were so stiff.
Yeah.
Essentially,
Yeah. Very static.
Yes. Yeah.
Very
so.
cheap.
Well, Kenner, that license, the way it all went down was hilarious.
Yes, I think that was that was probably the licensing thing that killed Mego at the time.
Yep, it was. Yeah, they were killing it. Mego was huge, and they passed on it like a lot of people did. So
sure, yeah, they they had made so much money off of Star Trek, and they kind of put all their efforts toward that, and they I'm sure at that time there were rumors that the Star Trek movie would be coming. So yeah,
and that was a big hot ticket, and I think like that pretty much that's what sparked like all the cartoon or the Toy Line cartoon series. Really is what it was, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because that's what the Star Trek the Animated Series was a little bit before that, but yeah, kind of around the same time, and Mego was involved with a lot of the facets of trying to produce toys for it. So it all hit at the same time, Star Wars, and that's what killed them. So and not to mention Marty's shady dealings.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
but yeah,
like just that's like it was a classic, like almost all those stories about like the Coke and the Pepsi battles too.
Right.
Same sort of crazy deals and all that stuff. And people getting fired, and just fun stories to listen to, and even things that you had no idea because you're a kid and you don't care about that stuff. Sure. You want the cool toys.
Yeah. I had no idea which ones were Kenner or Hasbro or Mego. I just exactly. I knew, dude, I want Spider-Man, Batman.
Yep.
And with the removable clothes, we were doing Marvel and DC mashups long before, the Amalgam Comics line. So you want
back in the 90s,
Spider-Man's clothes, boom.
Right. Back in the 90s, I was repainting like all my, which is horrible to say, but all my DC superhero, like there would be collector's items. I was repainting all those suckers into X-Men and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, good times of those cartoons, and that era was something fun. So, and something that kind of Nintendo, as far as like reduplicating that, Nintendo tried doing that, with their little amiibos actually. From the console generation before the most recent one, the Wii U, they had those amiibos for the game, and you would buy those little figures. So they were trying to do like action figures and video games, not action figures and TV.
Right. And my sons have have gotten into some of that, like the Disney Infinity and
Yeah, that stuff. Yep.
yeah, Skylanders, I think.
Yep. Skylanders.
Yeah, it seems to have, the fervor that was around those seems to have been pretty brief. So
Yeah, it was. It was. Yeah, it definitely was just a moment. It wasn't big enough at all. But I think it was definitely people trying to redo the same sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and it's a shame that very few kids are interested in playing with action figures.
Yeah, action figures. Yeah, it's now the adults. It's an adults game.
Yeah,
and that's why you have things like Hot Toys that are possible because
exactly. So yeah, that high end collectors market. It's I think it's kind of driven the price up on a lot of good toys that
badly, yes.
Yeah, that you might be able to get kids to play with, but now they're just ultra collectibles. So
yeah. Even just like for people like me, or just randomly, or yourself, just randomly might think, oh, okay, you know what? I might pop $80 on this thing because I really like it. $80 to $300 is completely different to me, man.
Yes, yes.
So I would love to have some of those real cool high end ones, but man, I am just like a G for 3 of them. For 3 of the high end.
Right.
Like the Hulk and Thanos, I think are both around $500.
I'm not surprised, but
yeah, man.
And the sculpts and the posability and stuff.
Oh yeah, they all have.
It's it's amazing, but
the Star Wars sets. Like some have multiple faces, multiple hands, multiple just free reposing. Which is awesome. It's cool. So I guess it's fun to see it come alive in this iteration. It's just, I was even listening to the guy from Hot Toys or not Hot Toys, but Toy Galaxy was saying how this year has even hurt the market more because people are just fiending instantly once things are live, and your casual casual fans are getting butchered. So
right. And I know there's a lot of poachers in the toy community. They'll grab all the ones off the shelf but it's not like it was back in the day. I mean, we would go to Walmart or whatever, and it would be an entire aisle of GI Joe, and then I mean, they were just all there, and it seemed like millions of them.
Yes.
But you go today, and it's like maybe half of one aisle.
Yeah, just if it's like maybe it's popular for this season, half.
Yes.
6 years ago or 5 years ago, I think when Legos were just booming, and they still are pretty much now, but just not as much. For 5 years, they were insane, and Lego actually had a global economy. You can still Legos have price tags. You can move money in Legos actually. And so,
wow.
Yeah, I have a friend that actually does that. And
it was a number of years ago. The number of Lego tires made in a year exceeded the number of actual tires made in a
year. Yeah, so it actually has its own economy. And I remember just 5 years ago, because I was actually getting into that a little bit, just buying them for the heck of it. I bought a big old Star Destroyer. It was awesome. And of course, with the Star Wars movies coming out, really boosted it too. Yeah. Big time.
They've done a good job with getting some licenses as well, but
yes, very good job. The superheroes ones, that's when the big boom was happening with all of them, and some of those places were just freaking amazing, so tempting. I would walk in there and look at them, and I was like, Barry, you can't afford this. It's $80 for a Avengers play set, and just awesome. But
yes. One that I've always wanted, and I'm a huge Star Trek fan, but I've always wanted Lego to try to get, a Star Trek license. That to me
would have been
so cool. But
you would, that's like and you know what? Star Trek doesn't even have the off-brand. What's those other ones that has?
They've done a few.
Is it Megatoy or whatever? Mega something?
Mega Bloks.
Mega Bloks.
Frio for a while, and
that was back in the 80s, though, didn't they?
The Creo was the Kelvin timeline ones.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
the
it came out
Creos
after
were
the
Creos
2000
came out in like the 90s.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, they may have came out in the 90s, but
That was
as
when I
far
was
as
working
Star
at
Trek
Walmart.
Creo, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, as far as the Star Trek Creo, it was after the Kelvin timeline came out. So
Okay.
I think that movie was 2009,
Yeah.
and then yeah, Mega Bloks got Star Trek after that. So
Okay. I wasn't sure, but yeah, that'd be great. I don't, that's frustrating, as a fan, like, because I
yeah,
would probably buy some. I have some Legos of everything. I have some super. I have some of the, like the Star Destroyer wasn't cheap.
Right.
But I had to. It came with a bunch of cool. So
we did the Death Star for our kids. This may have been 5 Christmases ago,
yeah.
and God, it was expensive, and we spent weeks building it. So, and they were, they loved it. They the building, but it only survived a few weeks after the building. So, I mean, did they get their money's worth out of it? To me, no. I would have loved to have seen it super glued together and never touched.
Right.
But they enjoyed it for what it was. So yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the best things about Legos, because when you're younger, like, I don't know, my parents didn't have a lot of money, so we had a bunch of little ones. Yeah. And every once in a while I would save up. I would save up for, like, I had like the Robin Hood Forest thing, I think, and those things. But I would take all the other ones and just build something big. Nowadays I don't see that as much when I would get into it. You see people will build the primary stuff on their, even the Lego YouTube channels.
Right. Oh wow.
Yeah. Have you ever watched those? Those are entertaining. I don't know, like they're funny. Like it's just something you can just watch. You'll watch someone, like, either they'll put it on like a fast forward, ×2 or whatever like that.
Like a speed build.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've seen a couple of those videos on Facebook, but I didn't know there were entire YouTube channels.
Yeah, there's a pretty good YouTube following also. So.
When I was a kid, I was aware of the existence of Legos and maybe had a couple, but for me it was just all about action figures and comic books. So yeah.
Yeah, I love it all. Even still, I'm into everything too much, probably.
Yeah, no, I do that. So
yeah, a lot of distractions. Fortunately, what are you working on there, Matt? You're being pretty quiet.
Oh, just a few different little things. I was doing some coloring on a page. I can go ahead and share my screen here.
Sure.
I'm doing just flatting, but I left my tablet at the office, so I'm just doing little click posting stuff.
Cool.
But it's taking a lot of flipping resources.
Oh yeah. These laptops, these not high-end ones. Yeah, it's looking good.
Yeah. This is a guy named Carlos Rodriguez's artwork. Hey, the metal's joining us.
Hey.
Howdy.
What's up, man?
Yeah, sorry for the late notice, man. We had a couple of people dip out on us, and so we were just like,
Yeah, named Matt and Barry. Those guys are jerks.
Yeah. Now everybody had stuff to do. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I know. Crazy that when you have your own life, what the heck?
Yeah. I'm all geared up because we've just been kind of just talking here, but I've been all geared up. We're getting ready for our mini-con coming up here in about a month, and so we need to figure out what our product line is going to be and what we're going to try to get printed.
Yeah, we do.
I did talk to Joni, who's up for doing some printing for us, as long as we can get her stuff in the next few weeks. So yeah, I'm hoping we could do a print run of this story. If I can get it colored in the next week, we should be able to do that. And then a small print run of Joe Jobs and of the Mark Question story. Those are the 3 ones we finished this year. I'd like to have them all for sale at the mini-con if we can. So
nice. Metal, and I don't think you've met Russ. I just more or less met Russ today.
Oh yeah.
We've been talking toys and all the cool stuff.
How's it going?
Oh, toys are always fun.
Heck yeah. And, oh, wow. We got Matt.
Matt Cross is here too.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Wow, this got real. What's going on, man?
It's a party now. Look at that.
We are now devoted to toys. Sorry if you're not up on it, but
Oh, cool. Yeah. Yeah. The ultimate merch item.
heck yeah.
It
No,
wasn't even our toys. We're just talking about toys.
wasn't intentional. Russ here, Yoakum was telling us how he does his own thing. So,
Yes, so
yeah.
but no, I'm liking this this page of colors you got going here. Is that like a Medusa style character? Is that living here that I'm seeing there?
Living Hair, yeah. This is Rapunzel. This is
Okay.
one of our characters from Forces of Good and Evil, our webcomic. And this is a story of her as an adult. And she this is another page. I'm actually using this page to pull the color template off of. This art was all done by Carlos Rodriguez, who he's got a comic that's crowdfunding right now that he's the artist on called Otis Stein.
Yeah. I thought it looked kind of Odyssey.
Yeah,
It's really
yeah,
nice.
it is. It's Carlos's stuff.
That wood block
And,
kind of feel.
Yeah, and Skinny actually, Carlos was looking for something superhero-y to do, and so Skinny sent him my way before he decided he hated me. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
we don't have to get into that, but it's true. And
oh my gosh.
That's
You're too
nice line
independent.
work here, too.
no, I'm just willing to argue a point clean into the ground if somebody says something stupid. That's all it is.
Oh gosh.
Oh yeah, I understand how that is.
Yeah. I mean, I thought I could tame Matt by hiring him, and turns out he's still willing to argue with me. So lesson learned.
Yeah, I am an uncomfortable son of a bitch.
No, it's all good. But that's really nice art. That's how fast does this Rodriguez work?
This was 2 weeks for 8 pages,
No kidding.
and he did all the gray tones and everything because it was originally going to be a black and white story.
Yeah.
We were going to do a free black and white version and do the color version to charge for. So that's what I'm working on to do a mini comic for our mini convention that we're co-hosting. This is page 1 though. This is Rapunzel at a Senate hearing, coming down from the Capitol building, and she is mad. So this is the setup for that story. So
That's cool.
Beautiful.
yeah, I'm really happy with it. There are I need to learn some more color theory, but
I recognize that the subway tunnel
yeah,
from DC, the big one.
Mhm.
yeah. I was looking for specific because I mean, I've been to DC several times for work, and so I'm like, okay, this is where I want this to be, and this is where I want this to be, and I said, okay, so here's the Grand Central Station, and this is what it looks like, and you're not going to be in see the outside of it probably, but so because I just got him just a large amount of reference pictures because he's never been to DC, which is not most people haven't, but it's a really important bit of flavor for the story. So
Yeah, it really nails it.
yeah. And I mean, even in the subway, actually, let me pull up page 2. He got the subway station really good for not having been there.
You know, the artist's name escapes me right now, but I'm currently reading
Well, actually, it's right here.
electronically the colored version of From Hell,
Mhm.
and this is really reminiscent of that for me.
Cool.
Mm.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
But yeah, Rapunzel is a 3rd generation super character. Her grandmother was actually a villain, Medusa, and her mother was the 60s and 70s heroine Godiva. And so
very
Rapunzel
cool.
is 3rd generation. And we have and she's more or less a side character in Forces, but she has kind of her own journey that I'd like to tell more of, but I only have so many hours in a day. So
this is an 8-pager, and you're getting this
Yep.
ready for the con you were saying.
yeah.
Nice.
Scott, the High Plains Minicon. It's the year 4, I think we've done it. 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah. And we get free space in our local mall as an excuse to convince people to come to the mall. And so us and a bunch of other, well, it depends on the year. I don't think we're going to have as many this year so a bunch of our local comic community, there's like 5 or 6 guys in Bluffs that do comics.
Cool.
And then in our little town of 25,000, right? And
Those are good odds.
those are pretty
nowadays.
good.
Yeah.
Of those guys, then in the Front Range, Fort Collins down to Colorado Springs, there's a whole bunch of indie comics folks and a pretty strong art comics community down there. And we've convinced a bunch of them to come up here from time to time. But about half of the indie community is terrified of COVID, and the other half is on fire. So,
Yeah.
so I don't know, and I'm not trying to make light of either of those things, but it's like the entire place has gone crazy, Colorado. But if you know why the states got their shapes, it really makes sense.
Water.
Not in this case.
Not in Colorado's case.
Oh, I guess I'll tell you the story. So, Colorado was once part of the Nebraska-Kansas territory, and they started splitting it apart, and Kansas became a state, and then Colorado was like, we want to be a state too, and so they were going to submit a claim, right, to be this massive state, this huge thing that was going to be all of the Nebraska Panhandle, half of Wyoming, parts of Kansas, the whole thing. And people were so incensed because Denver and was dirty. It was full of crooks and thieves and miners and whores. And so everybody was like, no. We're not associated with those people. They can stay over there. And so Wyoming was so anxious to not be part of Colorado that they gave everybody the franchise. Women, Indians, everybody. So Wyoming is the equality state just so they don't have to be Colorado.
Well, that part of that, Wyoming was also founded by prostitutes, so they were going to give
I
up
did
their
not know.
franchise when they became a state, when they were run by women.
Yeah, but not Colorado prostitutes. That's the ticket.
Wow.
Cheyenne prostitutes are a different class. I'm just
Little upper class,
Native prostitute.
well,
These are
no,
the things you
Cheyenne
don't
City,
learn.
not Cheyenne, the people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the capital of Wyoming is Cheyenne. Yeah.
No, yeah.
So
Yeah, it was a train town originally.
yeah, it was one of the stops along the original transcontinental railroad.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. In fact, actually, since I'm sharing stuff, let me. No, actually,
Speaking of
This is-
Cheyenne prostitutes,
I don't have a picture of Cheyenne.
we can top it. Come on, let's top.
Come
I do not have a picture of a Cheyenne prostitute, but what I do have is, hang on just a second here, in here, and in here, and in here, and down here. Not that far. That's too far. Here we go. This is the Cheyenne Depot Plaza as drawn by me.
so fun.
And it's not great, but it's what I did.
The perspective is very surreal.
And it's a goofy story. So I mean, that's part of it. It's Buckskin Boone, our redneck hero,
He's probably my favorite character that you have.
Oh man, I love Buckskin Boone. It's as a detective in a murder on a train mystery. So,
Sure.
So it's and this is the Cheyenne Depot Plaza. But yeah, and this is on Force of Good and Evil. If you look up, if you go to the tab there where it says pick a story, if you look at it's called Pulped Heroes, and there's 3 prose stories that are like done up like this, where there's illustrations throughout it. And most of the art's Barry's, but like this one's mine. so most of it's better than this.
Well, somewhat. But yeah.
So there you go. There's a little sliver of Cheyenne for you after my little story.
Whores.
Cool.
Oh yeah, no, there are no whores on that page.
I was expecting only fields of whores, actually.
Well, we actually do make that joke in a National Villainy, but it's about our not Denver, Fremont City. So
yeah, because at least in the case of Wyoming, all the prostitutes stopped being prostitutes as soon as they had enough money to.
That's pretty much true.
Which is funny, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean,
guys go crooked, and most people just get money and then be happy.
Well, I mean, it was a business. I mean, it was establishing yourself in a society at that point.
Yeah, especially if there's a train rolling through. But once your city starts building up, you've got more options and you can make a lot more money.
Yep.
And people started, and it wasn't just the railroad men sticking around. There became a business, because once the train was established heavily, then there were all of the ranchers that brought their stuff down. So they had to have stuff to feed the ranchers and everything else. It became a hub of business, not just a stop in the road.
Yeah, but that happened with a lot of stops in general, right? You start out as just like basically the equivalent of how we see truck stops that bloom up into towns too.
Yep.
People have to stop through enough, business flourishes, more people start moving into the area.
Yeah.
Just natural growth. Basic
Economics, man. Supply and demand. And the producers get to demand a little bit from the consumers too. So, which in this case is, hey, look, not a whore anymore.
Instead, I'm the governor of your territory.
We're moving into a different business now. So anyway, yeah. So I also, Barry, I'm super excited. Because I was talking over the weekend with Steve. I learned a whole bunch about doing some more web development stuff. And so I'm hoping that by the weekend or middle of next week at the latest, we will have an online store for e-merchandise.
That's cool. That is fancy. We can sell koozies.
No, only digital stuff. I don't want to sell anything that's a physical property on the website until we have all of the bugs worked out.
Yeah, I'm glad.
I don't want to ship anything while I'm learning like that.
Yeah, and it'd be nice to have a bit more of a capital to pay for the shipping.
Well, I mean, we'll charge shipping, but we still got to know what we're about and all that kind of stuff. So
make sure your site doesn't accidentally place 15 orders for somebody who only wanted one thing.
Exactly, because if it's orders, at least we can go ahead and refund them. That's easy. That's the easy part. So
I'm not sure who won 115,
but yeah. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked about it. I've also I've been hinting about this, but we are going to be having because I'm going to talk about it. An unofficial announcement for the one person watching. So whoever you are,
it's probably me.
It might be you. But the unofficial announcement is that we are going to be having a digital album, like a 4-song EP.
Oh, so that's happening. Great.
Yeah, that is happening. and I have located the tools to turn it into an ISO too. And if I can make it happen, we could actually sell CDs at the Minicon along with it. And it'll have this music. It'll be a enhanced CD, so you can play it in a car or pop it in your computer and read the comic.
Nice.
That's very cool.
Yes. It's something right out of 1999 or 2006 or something.
It'd be even cooler if my computer still had a disk drive.
I know, right?
Well, that
Or
reminds me of
my
the old
car had a
records and
CD player.
books, man.
Well, and that's the ironic. That's the crazy thing about it is like, I mean, is I need to. We can set it up on the store so you can choose to download multiple formats, right? So when you place the order, you can order it. It's not. I don't have the coding in place for it, but the tools I'm looking to build several of them have the option. So it's like when you put in different sizes for a T-shirt, it's the same kind of coding, but instead of sizes, you'll be like, okay, I want the MP3, I want the OGG version, I want the FLAC version of the album, and then that download package for the virtual version will just be like a zipped file that has the cover art and it's got the songs and it's got the PDF of the comic in it and all that kind of stuff. And then
why did you not go with Gumroad or something like that?
Because I want it. I don't want to trust somebody else with it.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line.
That's good enough reason. Sure.
And it's one of those things where like, when you farm something like that out, you always got to give somebody a cut.
Yeah.
And our margins are super tiny.
Yeah. And it's not like you can't browse. You've never been able to browse Gumroad. Like no one's just kind of shopping through, they're finding your link. So you might as well give them a link that's forcesofgoodandevil.com or something.
Yeah. Yep.
Same difference.
Yeah, it'll be off idealcomics.net is where the store will be, but we'll have a link on Forces too to go to that, and all that kind of stuff. So, but that's hopefully we'll have some. So hopefully by next week we'll have some digital comics, some e-comics, and the EP that'll be available.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm very, very happy with that. So.
Nice.
So we'll be talking for people that are on air. It's a secret about what it is. Barry knows. I think I told him already. He may have forgotten though.
It's possible that either I forgot or you didn't tell me, but yes.
Anything's possible, man. It's a Tuesday.
That's true. And we're tired.
Yes.
Which is sad because it's only Tuesday, but hey, so be it.
So yeah.
So Russ, other than Matt bugging you too much, are you just working on the inks and such then, or are you have any larger projects in the future at all?
I don't have any any kind of penciling or other inking projects on my horizon right now. I'd like to have, and this is unfortunate also. It's like I also have to be in the right mood where I know that, whatever art I produce is going to suck. So when all those stars align, I have the time and the mood, then I'm going to sit down and get some of that done. But yeah, I'd be interested in taking on, some more projects after that. Hopefully, these life happens moments will kind of settle down here after November 3rd.
Right? Yeah, no kidding.
But yeah, no, I it's something I enjoy. It's never been, like a primary source of income for me or anything. But it's something that I would love to do more of.
Right on. Yeah, that's cool. And I've looked at your art for some time now, honestly. So it's kind of cool to finally meet the artist and.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. So it's good art. So
some of it's good, some of it's not so good. But
you know what? Same thing with me. And yeah, like I mean, I talk to guys, and I'm always trying to learn, especially, and everyone will say, you know, heck, I've seen artists say, I hate my stuff from last year, and their stuff last year is better than anything I'll ever do, probably. But
I hate my stuff from tomorrow.
Yeah,
Stop.
relatable.
Yeah, I think that's an important thing to think on there. So
yeah. You know, I hate your stuff from tomorrow too, though, so it's okay.
If Reese has the image,
I'm sorry, what?
but do you have an image of that Molech card I was working on?
I think
I don't know if
so.
it's there. I've got it here. I don't know how I could share it with you.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that would work on a tablet. I don't really understand all of that that stuff.
They
Doing
have
all
a
we can
share
do.
screen at the bottom, or
If you have a share screen, yeah, you should, and you can do that on a tablet or anything else normally.
yeah, Barry would know.
Well, you'd think Barry would know, but last time he thought he was sharing his screen for like half the cast.
I forgot that you hit the damn button.
I had forgotten about that. That's hilarious.
Actually, Reese, I just resent it to you on Messenger, so I don't know if you could, if that's something you want to share. But
sure, I can take a look at
that one.
I am going to go ahead and share this. This is a piece rusted for us a long time ago.
Classic piece.
And these are our three main American Golden Age heroes. And
was
Russ
that like
actually
25 years ago, something like that.
15, only 15.
Okay.
Yeah, only a decade and a half.
And this is Al Jin right here.
Oh, we can't see your mouse. Put the gold.
Here.
There we go.
There we go. I'm going to move that. I'm going to switch the hand so it's less weird.
Yeah.
Here. So this is Al Jin right here. And he's kind of like our Superman. He's the first superhero. Superheroes existed before. I mean, supers like.
Well, switching to the hand was less weird until you started rubbing all over that guy's legs.
Do I have a pointer?
Wow.
You got to point that out, man.
I was just letting him go with it. What, man?
I really don't have. There's not a better tool. Well, there you go. Clip Studio making it weird. Anyway, so yeah, he's the first superhero in our universe. Super characters with people with powers existed from the beginning of time, but they weren't superheroes until the 20th century. And this is the first one, Al Jin. And this is the Golden Age gamesman. And this here's Night Terror, the horror-themed urban avenger. So
Cool.
Yeah. Very pleased with that.
Do villains wake up sweating just thinking about him?
They do.
As they should.
So does Matt with the hand action, apparently.
Don't even. Curses, Barry.
Right.
I haven't seen that one in a while, though. I do like it. I'm not very often pleased with my colors, and I experimented with a couple of different. I think I used colored pencils and ink on that, and I think it turned out okay.
Yeah,
it looks good. I like it.
I do like it.
Very, very nice dynamic to it.
I will go ahead and share the other thing that you sent over too, because it's cool.
I got a question to the group real quick, and this is just a tangent question. When you see a street, because almost all like shadowy, this is Night Terror, for example, street fighting type guy, do we always associate them with Batman and saying this is a guy that's inspired by Batman, or this is another Batman ripoff or anything?
I always think of the Shadow.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. Zorro. So this is
so no.
Yeah. I'm moving along. Yeah, this is Pete Russ is doing for us. That's going to be a
Great.
trading card, and
Cool.
this is Mr. Hammond, who is going to be showing up in a future story. So, and that's all I'm going to say about it. But yeah,
Really good.
I gotta say, I do like how that one turned out. Still throwing some inks on some of it, which I'll be prepared to share that with you next time. But yeah, I want to say kind of inspired by Bernie Wrightson a little bit on this, but certainly not anywhere near his quality. So
Wow.
Great. I love it.
yeah. But yeah, that is one of the 9 card trading card set that is available to backers of our Expositionnaire Solo Voce campaign that we are working on. Sorry, but
Plug and a sorry at the same time.
well, it's a plug because that's what it is. But nobody else can. It's not available to anyone to go purchase or chip in until the book's done, because we're gonna do another campaign or Kickstarter is the plan. But the book's not done because life
I'm
happens.
grinding.
Yeah, I know. Everybody who knows.
Yeah.
Hey, at least you have like legitimate excuses for why your stuff's not done, and not because you spent the last few days making video game sprites of your characters.
Yeah, I did
I'm
notice.
not saying I wasn't doing that also.
It's really good. It's are you like a professional sprite guy? Because that's it's mesmerizing.
No, but I have done a lot of sprites in my life. Back in high school, I guess you could say professional because I did get paid a few times.
There you go.
But on the amateur level, I used to make sprite sheets and stuff for people to use on like Newgrounds and stuff like that for Flash games and animation.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you do? Never mind. Well, do you do sprite art? Do you do like pixel art?
To a degree, yeah. I haven't put anything up in a while though,
Okay.
in like a long time.
I've been getting into those, or just finding more, I guess, because I've been doing, like things, roughing out things for the game I'm working on, if I ever have time. So, yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
I almost want to. I want to ask you your rates because that's I mean, I'm sure you're expensive because that's
See,
the quality there.
It is good.
Yeah, and I have
like
to make a
little-
lot for myself.
Yeah.
Well, it's like because an individual sprite doesn't take too long, right? Like this is probably, I don't know, 70 pixels tall, but like depending on what you're using it for, you could have anywhere between 25 to 500 sprites in the sheet for a character.
Yeah.
Does anyone besides myself and Reese use Clip Art Studio?
Not yet, but that's
No, I
my 2020
So,
plan.
so
2021.
Clip Art has a setting that you can take any picture and change it into a sprite based on any degree of. It can be like I can take a picture of one of our like expositioners and make him a sprite animation, and or just a sprite picture. It's one of the
Cool.
yeah. It's a fancy way to cheat. It's really nice. So
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can do that in Photoshop too if you set up the right action.
yeah.
Can you make
I
it like
have
this?
been admiring that though. I mean,
Yeah.
the entire time I've been looking at it, I've been thinking, round 2, fight. So
Right.
Yeah.
very cool.
I want my avatar to be animated.
Yeah.
It probably could be.
Yeah, I'm gonna DM you.
Oh, okay.
I'm sliding into your DMs. But don't. Yeah, we'll talk later. We'll talk after stream.
Making deals. See, this is what we do. We bring people together.
Yeah, because that one right there is 12 sprites looped together.
Okay.
What's your? That's only 12.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a
Wow.
12 loop. So, like, if you were doing, I think that's set for 30 frames per second, which is kind of average for beat 'em ups. So, that is at about 0.05 seconds for each part of the frame.
Yeah.
So then it loops through.
What's your Twitter handle?
It's I'm at a metal with technically there's 3 M's. IMMADAMETAL.
I don't even remember. I just start typing metal and it remembers for me.
Also, yeah.
Technology has made us all stupid.
Crap.
Metal, I might message you afterwards also. Because there's a few projects that I am working on, and they're over my head just because like I'm learning sprite art and all that stuff at the same time. So.
I can't find it, so you message me.
Oh, okay. I'll send you a message.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really pumped about. There's so many people since people have been figuring out how to live stream and get their comics out and just like really build this sort of like international community of, hanging out and talking shop and sharing stuff. I think it's been a couple years, and now people are getting their sea legs, on what it actually requires to actually get all the way through.
You know what the most annoying thing to me about all of this is? I mean, the follow through is one thing, but okay, I'm going to sound like the cranky old dude, but like it's frustrating to me. I've been doing this forever. I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not going to say that we've attained or anything, but like I'm not doing anything different than we started doing in 2005. The technology is sharper, I maybe I'm smarter.
Oh, yeah. No,
but,
well, the factor, I guess, it's not the crowd, it's not the independently made comics part. It's really the everyone like video chat hangout, like that sort of thing where you can just kind of tune in and take notes on the fly as people converse about this stuff. I think was harder to get unless you were like, bothering creators at the bar at a con.
Yeah, I think there's probably something to do that.
So,
well, I mean, and that's one thing that too is just like some of the stuff that like people were really like tripping over. I think a lot of people have like kind of plugged in now to each other, but even a few years ago, people were just like, "Well, how big is a page?" I was like, "Dude, Wizard used to print that all the time." I mean, it's here's all of your specs, and if you forget, it's online. It's everywhere. There's no excuse. Like one of the things is, I'm not trying to badmouth anyone, but I'm probably going to anyway. But like one thing that like I've talked to Doug Garrett about, one of the problems that he was running into with the Legend of the Lone Wolf is people were sending him stuff that was weird sizes,
Yeah.
But it's just like, man, the size of a comic book page hasn't changed since 2003. Like they got a little shorter, but that was it. I mean, and before that, it's been a long time. I mean, the ratios are pretty set, so it's not hard to get it right.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember the Marvel tryout books?
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, you could have even got the dimensions from that.
Yeah, true.
So
a long time ago.
Yeah,
it was. Well, and like and then Marvel, when I first started, trying to get people's attention, like for like 15 minutes, Marvel and DC still had open submissions, and then they closed them down just as I thought I was getting good enough to submit stuff, and then Marvel was like, "We're going to open submissions again," and Chris and I, man, we came up with this amazing like Namor and Captain America story going through World War II about like the first times they like interacted, like and it was like deep lore, like there was tons of historical research went into it. It was amazing.
Wow.
It had this awesome like fight scene over like Darwin, Australia, like battle scene involving like where there was two separate troops, and it was amazing. And like we had it ready to send, and like we put it in the post, and Marvel announced they were closing the program
No,
while it was in the mail.
it's still in the mail. Yeah.
Oh man.
Wonder why they canceled. Or did they
Because I
close
don't think it was real.
it?
I
Yeah.
think it was an excuse to try to bring some of their friends, some of the editor's friends, on without,
Oh, smart.
because there was 2 books that came out of that. One was Trouble, and the other was a Namor series that redid Namor as like a little girl's adventure story about a young Namor and a human girl that he, like 13-year-old Namor and a human girl he gets sweet on.
Yeah.
You do like a Romeo and Juliet thing with Namor. Because that's going to happen.
Lovely.
Dude, 13-year-old Namor was killing humans.
Well, he didn't kill one, apparently.
Oh, man. I was mad.
I was very mad at him that day. Why didn't you kill the human?
I was so mad.
She was pretty.
It was crazy. Anyway. But yeah, so that's what I think it was. I think it was all a slight. But
Interesting.
but sleight of hand, I should say, not like a slight, like an insult.
Like an insult to you? Okay.
I don't think it was personal.
Yep. Yep.
Because I don't think they couldn't have known me. But
Well, no, you weren't talking politics on Twitter yet, so.
yeah,
Yeah.
Twitter didn't even exist yet.
Were you arguing?
Let's back up just a second.
I didn't get on Twitter until 2018, maybe 17.
I think, yeah, it's probably 18. And wow, in that short amount of time, you've done that much damage.
Yeah, that's true. No, I think it may have been late 17. I'd have to look it up, but the reason I avoided Twitter for a long, long time. Our buddy Chris Lawton was just loved the Twitter. Thought it was a great scene. The just good laughs, and I was just like, I can't imagine like thinking that your thoughts are important enough to belabor the universe with them. But one of my old friends from the webcomic days was because it's petty little thoughts, you back then, especially, it was like 120 characters. You can't say anything meaningful in 120 characters.
Yeah.
Now it's 240, and you can almost get real thoughts in.
Let's say it's different now.
But anyway, like I said, there was some of my friends from the old webcomic days who like had retreated entirely from the internet, email, Facebook, message boards. They disappeared everywhere except Twitter. And so I was like, well, they're on. I guess I'll go say hello. I could put up a thing to say hello, right? And well,
2 years later, Matt's over here. Hang on, honey. Someone on the internet is wrong.
I was doing that before, but it was just Facebook then. I'm barely even on Facebook these days.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I couldn't imagine in 2020, I couldn't imagine arguing with anyone other than strangers. Like the idea of like actually trying to like talk about politics with people that I've known in real life. Deeply upsetting. And I'm only half joking. I mean, I can't.
I know.
Like,
Your own
like,
that's why.
yeah, like all of us, like back in like 2008, you get on Facebook, and it would actually be interesting to see like, oh, I wonder, I'm going to comment about subject X on some old high school buddies post, and I'm actually interested in what the response is going to be.
Yeah.
But nowadays, ugh.
Now
Yeah.
It's like, go ahead, post your thoughts, sucker.
Yeah, I dare you. Yeah,
I dare you.
That's
a lot of that.
25 comments later. Yeah, well, I'm gonna block you too. Yeah, well, I hate your dog.
well, I do hate his dog. His dog's an ass.
Look, no dog deserves hatred. Dogs are loyal, good human dogs.
All
That's not
dogs
even-
matter.
That's not even a thing.
Just know.
It's not.
That's funny. I was playing a game, wonderful sprite work called Octopath Traveler
Yes.
by Square, and it's probably more Final Fantasy than Final Fantasy has been in quite a long time. And if
Bingo.
you there's this thing that you can inspect people to get information from them, and if you go and inspect the dog, it says he's a good dog because all dogs are good.
See, even Octopath knows. No, Octopath's amazing. Actually, you know what, Metal? I might have to hire you or even just take lessons from you because the sprite work. Have you ever heard of RPG Maker?
Yeah, I'm familiar with it.
I figured you had to. Yeah.
There's good
so
things
was
about it.
mentioned-
My specialty is actually because people used to like to mod things back in the day, is making full sprite sheets for Final Fantasy VI of just any custom character that somebody wants.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, wow.
And those I actually sell really cheap because I'm so quick at making them.
Dang.
Oh my gosh! Now I want one of those.
Oh yeah, that
Now I
would
just
be
want
way
original
cheaper
characters.
than the
Yeah.
the thing I just gave you.
You guys
Yeah.
thought I brought you on to talk, but really, I'm convincing you to give money to Metal.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I
What?
need it.
I mean, don't you just want to jam with people? Like that's what's so exciting. Like,
Well, yeah, that's the best thing.
yeah,
For sure.
get your OC like in
I
a
work
Final
on
Fantasy VI. Like,
I've got a.
feel
We actually have a character, Game Boy, who lives in computers, and so I, for a long time, wanted to do something with doing like sprite art in terms of like a comic kind of a thing, but I don't have the money. So.
Oh yeah, I've been tempted to do that too. Because once you have all the assets, it's really quick
Yeah.
to make a sprite comic.
Assets are nice. That's what I'm actually working on right now in my downtime, building the assets up for the game, which takes time, but yeah.
Yeah, but like I do Final Fantasy sprites quick enough, or at least I did back in the day. I might have to warm back up. That I would probably do like 50 cents per sprite.
Wow.
what?
Wow.
Yeah. And you get, because like the sheets too for 6 specifically, there's like 50 something sprites per sheet.
Yeah, they're not huge. Or
Looks like we're all getting sprites.
I know, yeah. So sorry to
Go in.
this discussion right now. This is
Going
important.
to be the Oprah thing.
Yeah.
You get a sprite. You get a sprite.
Yeah. Well, and also like Final Fantasy 6 specifically, all like the sprites for the most part, unless you want something really special like Sabin's special moves or anything, are uniform. So all you're doing is basically changing the aesthetic of it, but they're all going to do the exact same movements as each other. Because it's
Yeah.
like the sword swing movement or the character riding on a chocobo position and stuff like that.
I don't even know what
absolutely.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
that
if you're a fan of that, you wouldn't want it to deviate from those,
Exactly.
that kind of backbone. You want it to have the recognizable, to fit into the
Yeah, that's like those sprite sheets. That's why, I learned that. I was downloading those just pulling them off the directory and checking them out because I want to make my own, my own assets for the game. Metal, and that's interesting how like you just keep on, you just kind of keep in uniform with those, and you can do it.
Yeah, modifying other sprites is a good way of learning. That's how
Yeah.
I mostly learned. And I had to do everything back in Paint back in the day.
Which was,
Photoshop is wonderful.
that's awesome.
It was really funny because we were just talking about paint before you guys got here because Russ uses paint to design costumes for his dolls. I mean, action figures.
Oh.
I don't.
Russ is like, you know what? I remembered I have bigger projects. Sorry.
I'm just giving you crap.
No. It doesn't bother me. I know there's a huge thing about it. I prefer to call them action figures, but I'm not offended by dolls. So
Yeah. Well, they're creative. They're custom. There's a great. There's a field for it now. So there's a market for it. So it's cool.
Mhm.
Yeah. I've the handful of commissions I've done. You go in the $60 to $90 range, but like I said, they take so long, So
Yeah.
and that's cheap. I know some folks like Charlie B. Flat. He was kind of one of the pioneers of some of the custom action figures on the Mego scale. But dude, some of his go for like we were talking about earlier, $300, $400, $500. So I am not him. So,
Well, maybe someday.
right.
There's actually a cat coming up to the Minicon, confirmed with us a couple days ago, that does custom action figures, and he specifically markets them to indie creators as props for their booths.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh.
So
Who's that?
it's Jesse Bonifazi, Blind Dog Productions.
Okay.
We met him in his stuff's been up before. He's good friends with John Bonjour.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And we've been across the aisle from him or whatever in
Yes.
Fort Collins before.
Yes. Huh.
What am I looking for?
Matt, who was the fellow that I forget his name? I even bought like some of his work. The guy who did the I know he never really left. I think when we talked to him before, who he did the art on the paper bags.
Oh, dude, I can't remember that cat's name.
Yeah, but really cool guy, real nice guy.
Yeah, he's from he's from like Elizabeth or something. Someplace that's like kind of away from the Metroplex enough that like, because we're talking about coming up one time. And
Yeah.
he's like, that's a 3.5 hour drive for me. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll think about it.
Yeah, that's what I remember. Yeah.
He's or Centennial, maybe up in the mountains. I can't remember.
I was trying to remember his name. It might be nice.
Yeah, this guy does like lightning quick, well,
he would do like I bought like a Zelda, or I'm sorry, I bought a Link. Where's Donovan
You're gonna
Limno?
lose all your cred there, man.
See, here's the real story about that metal. See, like my son looks like a Link, and Barry likes to just give him crap, so he just always calls him whenever he cosplays at cons as Link, because he looks like.
Oh,
Link.
I used to do that too.
Yeah, and so every time we go someplace, Barry's like, "Hey Zelda," and Donovan's just like, "Hello, Mr. Tetz."
He's such a good sport about it. You know, the kid's such a good kid, and so I would just get.
So
And now he gets to beat me up.
okay. But now, so that's the thing is, so now Barry worked himself into a trap because he's used to giving my son grief.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So he would do these. You know, he does these paper bags. And he does his art on them, and they're really good. They're really fun, and doesn't take him much time. And you know, it's brown paper bag. You know, not much material, so cost isn't real high. It's just really cool. It's good work. Real nice guy too. So yeah, I always take everyone's cards, and then when I get home, I put them down, and I gotta move stuff, and I lose them. Damn it.
Hey guys, I gotta.
You just need a
I gotta
card
head
box.
out. I gotta go do some writing before I go to bed. I'm like a day behind on getting
Oh.
a script to a guy.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks
Thanks for the invite. It's nice hanging out with you.
Matt, before you go, Matt,
Mhm.
what do you got going on tomorrow?
Yeah, you want to chat?
Yeah, I was thinking so. Like in the evening, just offline.
Yeah, I can do that. I'm
Okay.
free. Yeah.
I'll have to give you a call. Well, let's see. I'm thinking maybe close to like 8:30 your time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that works.
Okay, man. Well, I'll give you a call.
Cool. All right. Awesome.
You bet.
Yep. Catch y'all later.
Have a good one, man.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah. Nice meeting
Yeah,
you, Rob.
Hey, Reese, I just sent you a couple of pics
I-
on Messenger.
I did see that. Let's go ahead and see if we can't.
Yeah.
Hey, dude,
So
that
kind of idea what I've been doing with the custom printed suits.
let's let me share the screen. We're gonna go to a Brave tab. We're gonna pick the Facebook one.
Oh, sweet.
Dude, that beard's amazing.
Thank you.
The Blue Devil is pretty cool. And here, not that one, the other way.
Right.
There we go.
Oh, wow. Those are awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. I actually wound up hitting Paris Cullens up on Facebook. He liked him as well, so I figure, who better to judge?
Right?
Yeah.
You might know.
right.
That's pretty awesome.
So yeah, I just once you got the template down, and you can make the suit fit,
Mhm.
then it's pretty easy to reproduce, a suit that looks how you want. I say easy. It's still it's time consuming, but
Yeah.
but yeah. And once you get the process down, it's not so bad.
That is really cool, man.
Thank you.
And you take commissions too, you said?
I do. Some folks just want the suit. They're going to supply their own figure, accessories, whole deal. So, that's a little bit cheaper. If it's one that I got to do the suit and the figure, then there's more overhead for me.
Right.
And if there's a lot of sculpting or painting to do, then that bumps it up a little bit as well. But yeah, I'm happy to do commissions.
Interesting. That's really cool. Yeah. Everyone's got some talented guys on here tonight. I'm just gonna sit here and ooh and ah and place orders.
There you go. It's like our own little con.
I know, right? Shoot. I cook.
Oh, very good. I eat.
Hey. Yeah. That's why I started to cook, probably.
Right.
That's hilarious.
Metal, do you do... Sorry, I'm going to go back into your sprites. Metal, do you do most of that in Photoshop then?
These days, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially since if I want to do an animation like that, Photoshop, you can just open up the timeline and save for the web and just export a GIF.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's nice to use layers, but yeah, back in the day, I didn't have Photoshop.
Right.
So for like most of the aughts, I was just doing it in Paint and leaving some green screen like color for people to just kind of clear out.
Clear out, yeah, cut out, yeah. Makes sense.
That's a lot of how people did it anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, because usually you have your palette, and depending on what you're working with, either 8 or 16 color restrictions, one of your colors you would set to be a pass-through color.
Right. When I'm watching people do make they'll take the backgrounds off of the video game itself, and they'll go through all that, and that's the same process they use just for the backgrounds also. So it's interesting. It's a fun, man. Surprised you don't do more of that stuff, especially when you're so versed in it, man.
It's difficult finding clients, and also I'm usually also just busy working on stuff because I do everything.
Have you ever shopped up or hit up like it's a growing, it's a big community already. It seems like, and it's growing, the RPG Maker community ever?
Oh, because I was familiar with RPG Maker back when it first came out, like
Right.
the first edition.
Yeah.
And I did a couple things for it back then, but usually I used to get all of that stuff off of DeviantArt. Like you used to go to the DeviantArt forums and people would hire you through there, but it's just not the place to get work anymore.
Right. No, DeviantArt is it's not the same anymore at all. But yeah, I mean, if you're ever interested, I'm probably gonna reach out to you for sure, just for tips and also probably to hire, because you have good prices. And heck, I'll be doing even more simple sprites and pixels than that. But yeah, you should check it out, because the newest engine just released last month, and it's booming again. It's growing a lot. So you might just I don't know, you might find it interesting.
Yeah. Though I know personally the first thing I want to make, and this is why I'm doing this sprite, is for a beat 'em up.
Yeah, that's sweet. Good old Double
love beat 'em
Dragon,
up.
huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell
But
yeah.
this specifically isn't even for a game. I'm making these to do animations that I'm
Okay.
going to like voice act, and then I'll animate the sprites over it.
Oh, nice. That's really cool, man.
That is cool. I mean, I don't know anything about the production of these, but I can't stop looking at it.
Right?
It's
It's
very cool.
entertaining as hell. And that's about like 16-bit, right?
Yeah, you could do this in 16-bit limitation.
Yeah. What do you think you'll most your work will be towards? More PSX era or
Honestly, most people like 16-bit,
yeah,
especially like for RPGs. Things like Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy VI are kind of like the staples for
Right.
that, and that's what everybody wants.
Yeah.
I would like to do things more like Octopath, which just seems like an extension of the Final Fantasy VI art style.
yeah, it is. And I think that's kind of like why it's so appealing. I think to a wider range of fans because it was so old school, you know, and very nostalgic.
Yeah, and it kind of looks like a pop-up book. I like it.
Yeah,
How you're not actually flat on a map like old games. They are 3D models, but they're just flat images set to where the 3D model would be,
Yeah.
and they're walking around the world like a pop-up book. It's great.
yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, at first when I was turned off by it, but then I saw it actually in working, you know, and I was like, oh, that's sweet. Yeah, there's an old school game that I'm a huge fan of from the old PSX era called Suikoden, and the creators of that have just completed their Kickstarter for a namesake, kind of like their it's a continuation since Konami won't give the license up and they won't make any more games. So a bunch of the original creators of that are doing a bunch of stuff like that, and it made me really want to get going on a project I've been working on a lot, and it's more or less slightly fancied up PSX, you know, PS1 graphics and stuff. So it's really beautiful, though. It's pretty impressive stuff.
Fellas, one of my kids is getting up, so I'm gonna have to bounce.
Oh,
I don't know what his deal is, but I have to try to get him back to bed here. So
sounds good.
great meeting you guys. Great talking with you.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Russ. It was really cool to meet you, and hopefully we can do this again sometime.
Oh yeah. I'll be ready with some new inked pages next time.
Right on, man.
All right, man. See you guys.
We'll
Have a
talk
good one.
Take it easy.
Well, Matt, you're looking awfully curmudgeon over there. What are you doing?
Oh, I'm converting these files. I've got Audacity open, and I've that EP that we got I commissioned. The guy got it to me in WAV files, and I'm converting them to MP3s and FLACs, so we can have different versions for people's favorite formats.
Nice. Very good. Very good. I'm just working on the comic right now myself. So
Sweet.
everyone's kind of quiet. Are you just working on stuff right now? Then metal also.
Yeah, I am bouncing between things. I've got a Photoshop in front of me, working on more of the sprites in the sheet, but I also have the next page of the webcomic physically in front of me too. So I'm just
Nice.
kind of trying to multitask. I don't really think you can, but you know,
Yeah.
good way of distracting yourself.
Yeah. I some days when I'm just not feeling it or I'm having a hard time with one project, I find that bouncing back and forth in like short increments, like 30 minutes or so, actually does help me get through both of them, or at least one of them.
I think honestly, part of that is like our brains. Like sometimes we try to push it, and if we run into a stopping block, like try to just push through.
Mhm.
But I think sometimes a lot of the brain work has to happen in the back of our head. You know,
Right. Yeah.
so
I'm
I
with
think it's like if you get to that point, I think it's good to have a couple of things to bounce back and forth to, and let your unconscious mind work through the problems you're trying to fight, and kind of go from there on that.
Yeah, for sure.
I think I'm just not getting enough cardiovascular blood flow most of the time.
That's
Right?
fine.
I've got like a little one of those bike things by my feet, but it's like an awkward angle, so I can't actually have it underneath the desk. I think I just need to build a desk around one of those workout bikes. And just be constantly
go.
moving while I'm doing stuff.
That'd be sweet. That'd be cool. Yeah, a lot of people like I just get up. I'll get up and I'll walk down to the coffee shop, or I'll walk back or something like that. So
Yeah, that's usually what I do. Is I'll go for a walk. Because I find the only time I've ever had something even remotely close to writer or artist block is when I've gone too long without a walk.
really interesting. Makes
Yeah, I
sense.
come up with all my best ideas when I'm walking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm right there with you.
back in the day when I did manual labor, I always carried a notebook with me because I'd always come up with lines of poetry or story ideas when I was in the middle of doing something.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Now I work a desk job, so
It's the blood flow, you know.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Yeah.
it's at least a part of it. Well, gents, I am going to bow out too, actually.
Yeah.
I have done a bunch of stuff, and I need to go get some supper in me.
Sounds good. Yeah, I need to do the same myself.
So, well, thanks for hanging out, Metal. And,
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
And showing off your awesome Sprite and work and all that stuff. So.
Yeah, I just finished it not too long ago, so I'm like, man, next stream that I hop on, doesn't matter who it is, I'm just gonna put my Sprite on there.
Right on. We're the lucky stream.
We are.
That's gonna be like, you should make that or incorporate that into the thumbnail, so like everyone sees it and we're awesome.
I don't bother with the custom thumbnail. I just do
It's
whatever.
whatever YouTube
Right.
picks.
I don't even care. Anyway, guys, so idealcomics.net, keep an eyeball on it. We are rolling out old blogs, old new content, plus announcements as we get them. And we will be having the shop open in the next week, hopefully. So, in case you've ever wondered what we're all about and teenage comedy is not your thing, then check out the awesome detective stories and survival horrors and all the other stuff that we have. So, well, the one is more of a monster story than a survival story per se. But anyway, that's it, guys. Have a good one.
Have a good night, guys. See you, Metal.
Yep.